little songs, but really it was, you know, it was being young. I was in my early 20s, and it was what I really discovered out of it, and what it really did for me. It was it became a way for me to vent and get stuff off my chest, and just kind of make sense of myself and the world around me. Just I think being young, and at the time I was out on my own quite early, and you know, all the crazy shit you're kind of going through at that age, and trying to make sense of the world, and that just became my outlet, you know, to kind of vent, and it was like a therapeutic kind of a thing, and really that's what it was always about from the beginning, and even really still is now. It was just my escape, you know, from the world and all the bullshit out there. It's just like I could totally, you know, it was such a personal thing, and it was such a, I had it to, you know, something that nobody could take away from me, you know, that I kind of had and could cherish, and it's like everything about you, your soul, there's so much interwoven in that, you know, and what's kind of coming out in words and in songs that you might not necessarily want to talk about that directly to some person in a conversation, but you can say those things in songs and write that stuff down, and even if you're not even singing it or playing it for anybody or an audience, you're still saying it out loud, you know, and you're kind of getting that out. And I think it's like kind of any emotion, you know, if you laugh or you cry or whatever like that, it's good to get that stuff out, you know. So that's always been a tool in a way of kind of helping me go through a lot of stuff, is with the songs and saying all that shit out loud.
Yeah. What kind of got you started?
Oh man, to me it seems like it was more of an accident than anything. I moved around a lot growing up, and when I was about 16 years old, my mother bought me a guitar, and we moved down to Laredo, Texas, down on the border of Texas and Mexico. And I'd had this guitar sitting around for about a year, just kind of sitting in the closet, never played it. You know, I was always kind of interested in music and fascinated by it, but I never thought that I could play or anything like that. And I met this guy down there who was kind of a neighbor that would play in the afternoons on his back porch, and he'd play all this old mariachi music, and I'd go there and just drink beer with him and hang out and listen to him play, you know. And I don't know, one day I said, I got a guitar, you know, would you show me how to play this song he was playing? He said, yeah. I got my guitar, and there's this old, kind of a classical mariachi song called La Malagueña, and he just showed me like a little part to it, and he'd tell me, you know, go home and practice that, and then, you know, next day or whenever we meet again, I'll show you the next little part. And we kind of went at it like that for about a week or two until I knew all the little parts, and then he showed me how to put the song together, and that was kind of the first thing I learned to play, and I just remember it being, you know, it was wonderful, just, you know, being able to create these sounds and make this music. And but I moved away shortly after that, moved up around the Fort Worth area, and more or less just got so sick of playing that one song, I, you know, just started looking to, you know, see what else I could do. So I bought a book of guitar chords and just started learning the different chords. And at the same time as well, I grew up going to rodeos when I was a kid, junior rodeo, and then I got older, you know, and starting to go to the pro rodeos, and was traveling all around with some friends of mine, going to these rodeos on the weekend. And I started taking my guitar along with me, and we would just make up songs, you know, going down the road at night and backseat of the truck, and just little simple, you know, 1 and 2 chord songs about where we were going and the little towns and things. And then a lot of times, you know, after the rodeos, we'd end up at a little party or in a little bar somewhere, and my buddies would be like, you know, why don't you get that guitar out and play some of those songs we were making up going down the road. And so kind of started doing that, and then out of that, I started getting these little gigs in the bars that we were hanging out in, because the rodeos would come back through these towns, and, you know, they'd be like, well, next time you come back, he goes, why don't you play a little gig, you know, we'll set you up in the corner and you can play your guitar, and because all the cowboys would go over there after the rodeos and stuff. And so I kind of out of accident kind of got these little gigs like that playing, and just out of my friends asking me to play these songs, and this seems like, you know, one long after that I woke up and I was in a van and had a band and we were playing, and then it was just like, that was kind of it. You know, Tomorrowland and all of that, it was really just about, you know, moving on from my past and really setting some stuff, you know, to rest, and kind of moving on with my life and looking forward to tomorrow and all that. There's a song called Never Far Behind on there that I wrote about my parents. It's really kind of the first song that, like, I really directly kind of wrote about them in a way. They both basically kind of, my dad committed suicide, my mother drank herself to death, and so it's always kind of been there in songs, I think, through a lot of my records and stuff like that. But I'd never, and it was always kind of in just subtle ways. It was stuff would come out like in my subconscious about it, but this was like a song that was just really kind of about it, you know, and it was really kind of like putting that stuff to rest and, you know, getting to a point where you just, you know, you can't do nothing about the past, but you don't have to dwell on it for the rest of your life, you know, or let it keep you from living your life, you know, and moving on. And, you know, I just think about all the fortunate things that I've gone through in the past couple of years of getting married and, you know, getting to tour and play music for a living and, you know, getting to go on tour with guys like Bob Dylan and Wilco and My Morning Jacket and these bands. And I just have a lot of stuff to be kind of thankful and happy about, you know, and it's just like, that was kind of those songs and this record and all that stuff was about, you know, it's time for me. It's finally kind of my turn to live my life, you know, and live it the way I want to live it and understand that it's my choice, you know, I can choose to live however I want and make my life whatever I want it to be, and it all starts in the morning when you wake up and put your pants on one leg at a time and say, you know, today, you know, what am I going to do with today, you know?
Where would they find your work right now if people were looking for you?
You can find a lot of art. We have a website called BinghamMusic.com. We have a Facebook page. We have all of that stuff. I think most of kind of the independent record shops are carrying it right now. That's where, you know, I always encourage people to go kind of support those smaller record stores and, you know, record shops and stuff like that. And we got most of our stuff all on vinyl too. So that's.
Oh yeah, and you got your own record label now too,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, we just released this record on our own record label. My wife and I run it together, and we got all the management stuff, and we're just kind of, you know, we're home teaming it, you know, keeping everything in house and doing it on our own and stuff like that. So.
Sounds great, man. Can't wait to see you guys on tour.
Yeah, man, it's well, I've got a great band on the road right now. We've been having a blast. You know, it's just a good crew of guys, and we've been having a lot of fun with it. It's been good.
That's good.